All right, everyone, welcome to our daily huddle. It is a Wednesday, middle of the week, hump day. And today, yesterday, we had a little visualization exercise, really talking about the power of visualization. Last week, talked about the power of gratitude. Today, or yesterday, I should say, we had an incredible training, an incredible video that was done by Dr. Howard Cohn inside of our Sea Life Wellness group. If you haven't watched that video yet, not only is it a must, but what an incredible tool for you to be able to utilize in your ATM methods, your ad tag message as a group. So for your agents, for your customers, for your friends, for your family, anybody that you say, hey, listen, I want to add you to a group. I'd love to tag you in a video. I want you to get a chance to listen to this doctor and talking about gut health, all those different things. So promoting that, the more views and the more views, the more ads, the more tags that we can get onto that is going to be very, very, very important. So today I was thinking about it. I was picking up some of the books that were kind of on my bookshelf and some of the stuff that I absolutely love. By the way, this is one of my favorite books, The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho. I don't know if you guys know this book, but it's really good. Talking about just reading and personality types and different things. For those of you guys that know the Enneagram, I did the tests last night for my fiance and for her sister, which was a lot of fun, and an incredible book on kind of personalities and personality types. But one of them really kind of stood out to me, and probably one of my favorite books because it's the one that I believe that makes all the other books work. And we've talked about it a little bit, but this is one of those things that is gonna not only be a constant, but is something that we need to constantly be reminded of as we're going out there and building our business, which is my Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect. Now, if you haven't read this book yet, I believe that it's probably one of the most important books that should be in your library. It should be something that is probably a revisit. One of my early mentors said, I would rather you basically pick 10 books and read those books and know them inside and out than just do a one-time skim through. Meaning is most people is just read a book and then move on to the next book and move on to the next book without really proper implementation of the concepts or the philosophies or the actions or the ideas that are inside of a particular book. So it's not about being a jack of all trades and master of none. It's mastering a certain level of discipline when it comes to your business, and discipline really being one of the most, if not the most important skills when it makes this work. So how do we get all the stuff that we really are learning and growing and acting on? Because the resources and everything that we have that are available inside of this group and inside of this organization are absolutely incredible. By the way, if you can get Tony Robbins to do this special message and forward for you, you're probably onto something. But I want to read this introduction to you because it's going to help set the stage for this conversation. So this book is about success and what it really takes to earn it. It's time someone told it to you straight. You've been bamboozled for too long. There's no magic bullet, secret formula, or quick fix. You don't make 200 grand a year spending 2 hours a day on the internet, lose 30 pounds in a week, run 20 years off your face with a cream. Unless he does obviously know about Seacret and recover, but that's okay. We'll give him a little slack. Fix your love life with a pill, or find lasting change, lasting success with any other scheme that is too good to be true. It would be great if you could buy your success, fame, self-esteem, good relationships, and health and well-being in a nicely clamshelled package at your local Walmart, but that's not how it works. We are consistently bombarded with increasingly sensational claims to get rich, get fit, get younger, get sexier, all overnight with little effort, with only 3 easy payments of $39.95. These repetitive marketing messages have distorted our sense of what it takes to succeed. We've lost sight of the simple but profound fundamentals of what it takes to be successful. I'm tired of it. I won't sit back and watch these reckless messages derail people any longer. I wrote this book to take you back to basics. I'm going to help you clear the clutter and bring focus to the core fundamentals that matter. You can immediately implement in your life the exercise and time-tested success principles this book contains to produce measurable and sustainable results. I'm going to teach you to harness the power of the compound effect, the operating system that has been running your life for better or worse. Use this system to your advantage and you can truly revolutionize your life. Have you heard, you have heard you can achieve anything you set your mind to, right? Well, only if you know how. The compound effect is the operator's manual that teaches you how to master the system. When you do, there is nothing that you can't obtain or achieve. How do I know the compound effect is the only process you need for ultimate success? Firstly, I've applied these principles to my own life. Now, I hate it when authors beat their chest about their own fame and fortune, but it's important you know that I speak from personal experience. I'm offering you living proof, not regurgitated theory. As Tony Robbins mentioned, I've enjoyed significant success in my business endeavors because I've made it a point to live by the principles you're reading in this book. For the past 20 years, I have been intensely studying success and human achievement. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars testing thousands of different ideas, resources, and philosophies. My personal experience has proven that no matter what you learn or what strategy or tactic you employ, success comes as a result of the operating system of the compound effect. Secondly, for the past 16 years, I have been a leader in the personal development industry. I've worked with respected thought leaders, speakers, and authors. As a speaker and consultant, I've trained tens of thousands of entrepreneurs. I've mentored business leaders, corporate executives, and countless high achievers. From thousands of case studies, I have extracted what works and what doesn't. Thirdly, as publisher of Success Magazine, in case you didn't know, Darren Hardy is the publisher of Success Magazine. I sift through thousands of article submissions and books, help choose the experts we feature in the magazine, and review all of their material. Each month, I review a half a dozen top experts with a multitude of success topics and drill down to their best ideas. All day, every day, I'm consuming, sorting, filtering, and wading through an ocean of personal achievement information. Here's my point. When you have such an exhaustive view of this industry and wisdom gained through studying and teaching the best practices of some of the world's most successful people, an amazing clarity emerges. The underlying fundamental truth becomes crystal clear. Having seen it, read it, and heard most of it all, I can no longer be fooled by the latest gambit or self-proclaimed prophet with the newest scientific breakthrough. No one can sell me on gimmicks. I have too many reference points. I have gone down too many roads and learned the truth the hard way. As my mentor and great business philosopher Jim Rohn said, there are no new fundamentals. Truth is not new, it's old. You got to be a little suspicious of the guy who says, come over here, I want to show you my manufactured antiques. No, you can't manufacture antiques. Now, just to give you a little bit of background here, Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy was one of the top distributors in network marketing in a company called the People's Network and the TPN. And the People's Network was bought by the company that I work for, Prepaid Legal, or today Legal Shield, in 1998. And his organization that actually ended up moving over, which worked with Paul J. Meyer in 1998 into that company, ended up becoming over 60% of the sales for that company. It was doing hundreds of millions of sales per year. And we got a chance to work with Darren Hardy and some of the events that he had, also his success symposiums. So Darren Hardy's Success Symposium was the last, one of the last chances, actually last two chances that you had a chance to see Jim Rohn speak live before he passed away. And so I've been fortunate to be around him and this information, and this was actually before he wrote this book. So what this book is about, with all the unnecessary noise, fat, and fluff removed, is what really matters, what really works. What half a dozen basics, when followed on and mastered, constitute the operating system that can take you to any goal or desire and help you achieve the life that you were meant to live. This book contains those half a dozen fundamentals. They comprise the operating system called the compound effect. Before we dig in, I have one warning. Earning success is hard. The process is laborious, tedious, sometimes even boring. Becoming wealthy, influential, and world-class in your field is slow and arduous. Don't get me wrong, you'll see results in your life from following these steps almost immediately. But if you have an aversion to work, discipline, and commitment, you're welcome to turn your TV back on and put your hopes in the next infomercial, the one touting promises of overnight success if you have access to a major credit card. Here's the bottom line. You already know all that you need to succeed. You just need to learn, and you don't need to learn anything new. All we need, if all we needed was more information, everyone with an internet connection would live in a mansion, have abs of steel, and be blissfully happy. New information or more information is not what you need. A new plan of action is. It's time to create new behaviors and habits that are oriented away from sabotage and towards success. It's that simple. You're about to discover a detailed, tangible plan of action. Let it shake up your expectation, eliminate your assumptions, ignite your curiosity, and bring value to your life starting right now. Throughout the book, I mentioned resources I've made available at thecompoundeffect.com. Thecompoundeffect.com. Please go there. Use them. This book provides for you the support you offer you the best of everything you've heard, seen, studied, and tried. It's the best that we can bring to every month of Success Magazine, all in one life-changing book. It's that simple. Let's get started. So inside of here, okay, I was trying to pull up my my little Elmo thing so I could draw, but it was not pulling through. Now, I'm not going to obviously ruin the book for you. Many of you guys have probably heard this, whether it be the Slight Edge and or the Compound Effect, and going through this, but it's one of those ones that is an incredible reminder. Right? When it's talking about the results that come, whether it be from income, health, relationships, happiness, success, attraction marketing specifically, is one of these important things, that the beauty of the compound effect is in its simplicity. Okay. And in this diagram, if you can see here, okay, what it's really talking about, how in the very beginning of taking on any new habit or any new program, what happens is in the very beginning, in the months to start, what seems to make no difference at all between two people. So the two people today, so let's take two of you. So Colleen and Molly. So Colleen, she goes out there and she adds two new people to the wellness group today. She tags them in Dr. Cohn's post and they get a chance to watch it. And Molly does not. Does that mean that Colleen is a double backflip diamond and then Molly is all of a sudden no longer successful in her business? No, there's not a huge difference in today's action, which is one of the reasons why most people don't understand the gravity of the compound effect. And the reason why is because it is a delayed gratification. It's one of the things that all of a sudden, if you want to get in shape, somebody has this a Life by Seacret shake and greens and the other person has a Big Mac. It's not like one person instantly gains 20 pounds and the other one instantly loses 20 pounds. In fact, if you were to weigh them in, if health or if weight loss was the goal and somebody has a Big Mac and somebody has a Seacret shake and you weigh them before and after, there's not going to be a difference. In a day, there's not going to be really a difference. In a week, this person might feel a little bit different, but not too much. So the actual impact of what's happening in the moment doesn't carry as much weight as most people would. Most people, when change happens, is when there is an immediate amount of pleasure or an immediate amount of pain. How do you kids stop touching the stove? How many times do they need to touch it to get that lesson? Usually about once, right? Ha! Oh my God, there's immediate pain and our pain sensors. And what we're trying to do is gain pleasure, gain pleasure and avoid pain. These are kind of our two barometers of being alive. So what happens is most people don't understand how big those simple disciplines. So what is success when it takes a look at the compound effect? Okay, multiplying your success. I don't care what book you read, and I've got dozens of them, probably hundreds of books now that I've kind of piled through. It is going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, the one thing that I've noticed, doesn't matter what tactic you employ, the compound effect is going to be working for you or it's going to be working against you. And what is this really boiling down to is that consistency. So the small things that we do consistently over a period of time that produce massive results as they compound versus when we're doing things sporadically or inconsistently. And what I want is I want that the pain of inconsistency is so great, we can almost move it into the present. And this is something that I was very fortunate that I had very strong teachers in the early stages of my career when we were employed to basically doing 2 exposures every single day. And that was just part of our business. It was, you did 2 exposures. And if you didn't do 2 exposures, there was a lot of pain associated to it. Now, what they used was that it didn't matter what kind of pain, whether it was, you were a good agent or a good distributor, whether it was you were somebody that was committed to your goals or committed to your futures, they would basically use any form of kind of guilt or fear or all kinds of stuff in order for people to understand that if you're missing the daily actions and the daily habits, you're not going to get the boom spike that people are really looking for. Because isn't that what everybody wants? I know that's what you want. You want to be waking up one day and you're like, holy cow, what is going on in my business? And what I can tell you is that most people get disenchanted with this profession because what they're doing is they're not getting the compound effect to work for them because they haven't had consistent level of actions or consistent level of activities long enough for it to kick in. Now, in this particular graph, if I go back to it here, okay, this is talking about 27 months of choices. Now, I love the graph because if you look at it, it's like the same, 10 months, 10 months. And then on the 27th month, all of a sudden you get this massive change when it comes inside of the business, right? And this is somewhat true. So 2 years, 24 months, if you take a look at it, of consistently doing the activities, of getting in the groove of doing them. This is where we're going to need to create the habits. And when you're doing this, this is so important, okay? All right? So, and, oh yeah, if you have an Audible account, they do have this on Audible. Now, I'm a big fan of not just listening, but also reading. Part of the reason why is because generally speaking, a lot of the times when you're listening to things, usually we're doing it while we're doing other things. So not that there's anything wrong with that. You can consume a lot more material usually because, you're doing multiple things at once. However, if you can take the time, just 10 pages a day, one of the things we talk about, and get into it, write some notes. It's a little, for me at least, there's a little different experience when I get a chance to take things in. But one of the things that it's going to talk about here in the book, and if you going through it, and talking about the magic of kind of the ripple effect of everything that's happening. Let me see, where is it? Okay. Right. As one of these sections that I really like, where it talks about elephants don't bite. Have you ever been bitten by an elephant? How about a mosquito? It's the little things in life that bite you. You don't usually trip over the car. You trip over something small that you're not paying attention to. Obviously, we see big mistakes threaten to destroy our career or reputation in an instant. The famous comedian who rants racial slurs during a stand-up routine, the drunken anti-Semitic antics at a once celeb humanitarian, the anti-gay rights senator caught soliciting gay sex in a restroom, an admired female tennis player who uncharacteristically threatens an official with a trade of explicits, with a triad of explicits. Clearly, these types of poor choices have major repercussions. But even if you're pulling such a whopper in your past, it's not extraordinarily massive step backwards or a tragic single moment that we're concerned with here. For most of us, it's the frequent, small, and seemingly inconsequential choices that are of grave concern. I'm talking about the decisions that you think don't make any difference at all. It's the little things that inevitably and predictably derail your success. Whether your boneheaded maneuvers, no biggie behaviors, or the disguise of positive choices, those are especially insidious. These seemingly insignificant decisions can completely throw you off course because you're not mindful of them. You get overwhelmed, spaced out, become unaware of the little actions that take you off course. The compound effect works well, all right? It always works, remember. But in this case, it works against you because because of what you're doing. You're sleepwalking. For instance, you inhale a soda and a bag of potato chips and suddenly realize after you polish off the last chip that you blew an entire day of healthy eating and you weren't even hungry. That's why it needs curb. You get straight up to those 2 hours. You get caught up in those last and lose 2 hours watching mindless TV. Scratch that. You give some credit and make up let's give you some credit and make it an educational documentary before realizing you spaced on preparing an important presentation to land a valuable client. You blurb out a knee-jerk lie to a loved one for no good reason when the truth would have worked just fine. What's going on? You're allowing yourself to make a choice without thinking. And as long as you're making choices unconsciously, you can't consciously choose to change an ineffective behavior and turn it into productive habits. Time to wake up and make empowering choices. So with that, I want you guys to kind of take a look at your action steps. And one of the ways that I did this, and I want to be able to put something like this together for you, is we had kind of a DMO calendar. This is something that we did where I had on my calendar and I put it on my wall and I had a piece of paper and we had a planning system in this where every day there were certain steps and certain actions that I knew that I was going to take for my business. And in Seacret, we have those Secret 7, our daily actions, our daily steps that we want to achieve in the start of our day. And for us, it was like a to-do list of these things, these core fundamentals that were mandatory really to be successful inside of our business. So what we would do is we wanted to be doing them every single day. So every single day when we're crossing these off, we were checking these off and we had to be streaked. And what we would do is we would actually be accountable to them. We would show up each week to our trainings when we had live trainings, when we would actually go see people, and we would come together. And when we would do these trainings, every person here would basically be showing their calendar of them checking off and completing these actions. So the combination of the compound effect with this accountability that was required is the goal was to do streaks every day, and we were really competing with each other because nobody wanted to show up on a weekly basis and not have completed their tasks or start over from scratch. Now, what I found fascinating was how difficult it seemed to be to take a simple action that really didn't require too much time but wasn't habitual and do it every day without fail. This was something that I did was very difficult to really put in, implementing new habits, implementing new behaviors. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Where we've had this conversation before, we've done this before, and many of you guys are going, oh, I know, I need to do this. I know, right? And something that is simple but compounded over a period of time is everything. It's not sexy. It's not something where you have this epiphany moment, right? And I love those moments. Trust me, I'm a thrill seeker. I am a breakthrough finder. I am a let's find blind spots type of guy. Like I love all that stuff where I go, man, I didn't even realize that's what I was doing, and discovering more of the depths of my soul and who I am and how I operate and why I do the things that I do. And I love all that stuff. But this is what's going to get the job done inside of your secret business. This is the deal, is consistent compound effect habits. All right. So what are we committing to? Here's the thing that I would like, if you were to choose one thing that you're committed to and consistently committed to, is you're posting, right? You're posting and you're adding people to the groups. If you're posting and you're adding people to the group consistently, you're gonna have to build your database. You're building your network, you're building your net worth, because the more and more people that you're bringing into the fold, you need to get more eyeballs looking at attraction marketing, more eyeballs in social networking professionals, more eyeballs looking at Dr. Cohn, more eyeballs looking at the power of the Dead Sea, more eyeballs looking at the power of attraction marketing or Team Truth, or the power of what Seacret has to put in a community. So the more eyeballs we put on it, because that's really the difference between those that are generating more data and more people taking a look. So more people can make a decision to go, this fits what I'm looking for. This is what's exciting to me. Let's make it happen. So compound effect, that's our stuff for today. So I want you to think about it right now is what is an action today that you are going to commit to for 7 days? We're not even going to take this not for the rest of your life. We just want 7 days. What is an action that you know that has not been consistent in your business Maybe it's your reading. Maybe it's your posting. Maybe it's you're adding people to the group. Maybe it's that you're connecting. All of you know what those things are. This is what I was saying. It's most of you, you know what you need to do to be successful. And if you're honest with yourself, it's not more information. It's not knowing what to do. It's doing what you know. I'll say that again because it's a good one. It's not knowing what to do. It's doing what you know. You know this. You know this stuff. This is not new information to you guys, even if it's packaged in a different book or by a different author. We know this in a gut level and a visceral level. And what I want to do is this. I don't want to continue as we're continuing to do these huddles, as we're continuing to do this information. We're going to be bringing you more stuff and more ideas and more tips and more strategies and motivation and inspiration. That's what we're going to continue to do. But what I don't want you thinking is that there's another bit of information that is required for you to be successful, because there's not. You don't need another strategy. You don't need another game plan. You don't need another action plan. All that stuff is in place. Everything else that we're doing here is purely for us to be able to be reminded of the things that we need to be doing consistently. So, compound effect, let's make it happen, guys. And